is Suri Deitch, and I am Dean of the School of Professional Advancement at Tulane University. And I'm happy to be joined today by my colleague Sheila Gold, who oversees student recruitment and admissions, and then behind the scenes, Ann Conlon, who is moving the slides for us. As we get going, I'd like to ask if you could to put your name, where you're calling in from, and the program you're interested in the chat box at the bottom of the screen. This is a general session about Tulane SoPA and our programs and student supports and faculty, but it's always helpful to know what folks are interested in, and we'll have time during the session for you to ask specific questions. So again, if you can put your name, where you're calling in from, and the program you're interested in, that would be great. Thanks so much. So like I said, this is a general session about Tulane SoPA. We're in the middle of our spring semester. For those who are in the Gulf South region, we just had an amazing book festival at Tulane this past weekend. I was lucky enough to get to facilitate a session with a faculty member from our public administration program. And the weather's still really nice, and it is a great time to be thinking about going back to school. So, and thanks for those who have put your information in the chat box. And if you can keep doing that, that would be great. So a little bit of background about SoPA. Tulane is very unusual as a private research university in having a school like SoPA that is focused on applied learning relevant to the workplace and has a largely working adult student population. But our roots actually go back to the very founding of the university. Tulane was created as a medical college in the first place in 1834 to deal with societal issues, to focus on tropical disease in particular. The law school was the second school founded at Tulane, and SoPA's predecessor was actually the third school. So we have a long history of offering these programs. We do it in a 21st century fashion, which means that a lot of our instruction is now online, and our students are split between the Gulf South region of the United States and across the United States with a sprinkling of students from other countries. So we have, and among other things, incredible diversity in our student body. In the next slide, I'll just give you a little bit of a sense of what we'll be talking about during this session. I'm going to talk about online instruction because that's the primary modality that we use with our graduate programs and our post-baccalaureate certificates. We'll talk about our programs and faculty a little bit, just an overview of that. We'll talk about the ways in which we support students academically and in terms of career development. And then I'll turn things over to Sheila to cover the rest of the slides, to talk about the admissions process, tuition, deadlines, those kinds of important things. So just to jump in, and it's great to see we have a range of folks interested in different programs. So, we're, I guess, post-pandemic, starting in March 2020, pretty much all of American higher education went online. Faculty who didn't know how to use Zoom or weren't acquainted with online platforms for learning learned these things really quickly. SoPA had already developed a really robust approach to online instruction, to helping faculty to be able to teach effectively online, and had a lot of had a whole staff of designers and instructional support experts. So we're really proud of the model of online learning that we offer at SoPA. We feel like it is on brand with the quality of Tulane. The classes are small, the sessions are highly interactive. It is a mix of work that you do synchronously. So meetings like the one we're having today, whether with a guest lecturer or to hear presentations from students or to review one another's work. And then what's called asynchronous learning, which is work that you do on your own schedule. So we have real world scenarios. That's a big focus of the school. We have various ways of interacting. It could be through a podcast lecture or a video. It could be through a discussion board online, like I said. It could be through a synchronous session where everyone is on at the same time. Courses have at least 4 of those meetings a semester, maybe 6, maybe more if you're in a field such as teacher education. But it's all about finding the right balance of convenience for students who have a lot of other things going on, high quality interactivity and intimacy, and then taking the best advantage of the technology that's available. So for example, we have courses that are using the metaverse at this point. So that's online learning. And then I'll just give you a little bit of an overview of our faculty. So SoPA has about 35 full-time faculty and about 150 adjunct part-time faculty who are pretty much entirely people who work in industry. So the full-time faculty in many cases have industry backgrounds. And so like the folks on the right side of your screen, Tyra Mitchell and Ralph Russo, they are completely dedicated to teaching and mentoring students, but they come from really interesting backgrounds in the private and public sectors. The 2 people on the left hand of the screen, Derek Bose and Ashley Hand, are adjunct faculty. Ashley teaches in our public administration program. Derek teaches in our emergency management and homeland security programs. And these are folks who have day jobs that are typically pretty demanding, but they make time in their schedules for teaching at SoPA because they love to share what they know. They love to help students with professional networking and career opportunities. And they see preparing future generations of leaders as part of their professional identity and experience. So we're very lucky to have all of these faculty. On the next slide, just a couple more examples. An adjunct faculty member on the left-hand side, Amanda Fennell, who's in information technology and cybersecurity, and Tamara Gregorian, who is a full-time faculty member in our media and design programs. Again, just some great examples of people who teach for us. All right. This is a list of master's degrees that are offered at SoPA. It is a wide range of programs. With one exception, they are all applied programs that are preparing you for advancement or entering an industry. We also have the Master of Liberal Arts program, which is a humanities-focused program that is structured especially for working adults. And students do amazing work in various fields in that program. We offer a Master of Science degree in technical fields, a Master of Professional Studies degree in our Emergency Management and Homeland Security programs, a Master of Public Administration, and then a Master of Arts in Teaching. And we're really excited about the Master of Arts in Teaching, which was just approved by our accreditor a few weeks ago. We are waiting for approval of a Master's of Education. So 2 new programs, largely focused on pre-K-12 instruction, that are starting this coming fall. So this is a list again of master's degrees. On the next slide is a list of graduate certificates that are associated with these master's degrees. So these are great options if you want a very specific body of knowledge for a very specific purpose, or if you want to go back to school, you figured out how to make a plan for it within your life right now, but you're not sure if you want to enroll in a full master's degree. Each of these programs, with one exception, is 4 courses. The courses are, they count toward a master's degree. So you can decide when you are in a certificate or finishing it that you want to go on for the full master's degree. If you're in the master's degree and you take all the courses in a certificate program, you'll also earn the certificate. And the one exception that I just wanted to call out to the 4-course structure is Cyber Technology Fundamentals, which is actually 6 courses and is focused on helping people learn computer science and information technology technical skills. So it's really for people who want to work in information technology and don't have a prior educational or professional background in that field. So that's the graduate certificates. And then the last list is our post-baccalaureate certificates. So these are certificate programs that are made up of undergraduate courses, but for which you need to have earned a bachelor's degree in order to enroll. Often with these programs like paralegal studies or design, it'll be someone who is switching careers or has entered a field where they don't have a prior educational background and they want to make sure that they're fully up to speed. So each of our programs has a specific webinar where you can meet with the faculty and advisors and learn more about that curriculum. So there are 2 more things I want to talk about. The first is what's called credit for prior learning. So as a school that is largely focused on teaching working adults, many of our students come back to school with a significant background, sometimes in the field that they're studying. And this is a way of allowing you to literally get credit for things that you already know, whether through work experience or volunteering or some kind of training. We have a number of different arrangements with professional associations. The National Guard is one example. The National League of Cities is another one, where if you've gone through that organization's training, you will actually be exempted from some of the coursework toward your master's degree. We also do something called portfolio assessment, which is basically that our faculty work with you to match your experience up against the learning outcomes of specific courses. You write or design a portfolio that explains your background and how you know these things. And then the faculty grades the portfolio and actually awards you a letter grade. You can do that for up to 2 courses in a master's degree. Again, it's called credit for prior learning, and it's part of our structure that is, focused on helping people earn their credentials, accelerate earning their credentials, and not have to go through the motions of learning things that they actually already know. And then the last area that I'm going to talk about is the ways in which we support our students. So I already said something about our faculty, their connections in industry, the ways in which they mentor and help students develop professional networks that will literally last a lifetime. We also have a dedicated staff of academic advisors who are highly experienced in working with adult students. They can help you make important decisions like how many courses to take at a time, what to take in what order. Typically, our students are taking 2 classes a semester, but sometimes they're taking 3. Once in a while, someone's taking 4. And sometimes people need to slow down a little bit and take 1 course or even take a semester off. Your academic advisor is your friend in making those important decisions. And if something comes up, we have students who are in the reserves and get deployed. We have students who are first responders. And so after Hurricane Ida on the Gulf Coast, we had students who needed to move temporarily and do service work for their careers. And it was an interruption for their classes. And so the academic advisors work with them to figure out how best to navigate that. Our focus is always on working to support you so you can stay in school and on track. And so we have tremendous flexibility. Faculty and staff know that students are navigating a lot and that things come up. We don't compromise on the quality of the work that we expect or the quality of the instruction that we offer you, but we have a lot of flexibility in terms of when and where and how you get that work done effectively. We also have a career advisor for the school who, again, specializes in supporting working adults, has a lot of experience in working with people who are changing careers or trying to figure out how to describe skills they gained in the military or in the hospitality industry in ways that will translate into new professional opportunities. And so again, it's all a part of how we support students. And with that, I will hand things over to my colleague, Sheila Gold. You should feel free to put any questions that you have in the chat box at the bottom of the screen, and we'll address them as we go along or at the end of the session. Again, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Suri. And let me welcome you all again. We are thrilled that you're here and took time out of the middle of your busy day to hear about what we think is our really exciting school. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our application process and some deadlines. If we could flip to the next slide, that would be great. And our affordability at SoPA. Once again, if you have any questions during this portion, please just drop them in the chat. You'll also have an opportunity to get my contact information at the end of this. So if you're not comfortable asking in the chat, that is totally fine. Many people aren't. You certainly can email me after this webinar. So a little bit about the affordability and ways to pay for your Tulane education. At SoPA, we price our classes per credit hour. We are currently in the spring term, and our price per credit hour is $1,158, and all classes are 3 credit hours. A couple things for you to keep in mind. Most of our students need some sort of financial support, so they fill out the federal form for financial aid, the FAFSA form, and are eligible for federal grants and loans. We encourage our students to fill out that form sooner rather than later. There are multiple steps and lots of back and forth processes between the form and our financial aid office, so please don't leave that to the last minute. And then there are other ways that we offer support to our students to help them afford their Tulane education. We are proudly a yellow ribbon program school, so if you are active duty, military or veteran, please keep that in mind. And then we offer several 20% tuition discounts if you are active duty military, if you are active or retired safety personnel, police, EMT, firefighter, we offer support for you all. If you have received a degree, bachelor's or otherwise, from a minority serving institution, such as an HBCU or HSI, we offer 20% support as 20% tuition discount as well. And if you are in good standing as a PTK member, Phi Theta Kappa, we also offer a tuition discount. Another way that I like to kind of connect the dots is Suri mentioned a slide or two ago about our credit for prior learning program. That is also a way for you all to save time and money towards your degree for getting credit for knowledge that you already bring in as a student when you get admitted. So there are several ways that we work to support students to help them afford their education. So our application process, we try to make as simple as possible. However, there are always questions that come up. As you're going through the application process, if you have any questions, once again, I invite you to reach back out. We are a small school. We like to get to know our students. We like creating relationships with our students, and we philosophically feel like the application process is the beginning of our relationship building with students. So please, please, please reach out. It is how you get to know us and we get to know you. With that said, our application is an electronic application. It lives on our website, sopa.tulane.edu. That address is at the bottom of the screen. Go to our website. There will be a button at the top that says apply. And you will choose, you have two choices, undergraduate or graduate application. Those of you who are on this call most likely want our graduate application. We do have a $50 fee for our graduate application. However, as a thank you for being here, we waive that fee. We have captured your attendance, and when you submit your application, that fee will automatically be waived. If there are some of you on this call who have already submitted your application and have paid your fee, please send me an email. I can refund the $50 to you. It is a very simple process, so do not feel shy about sending me an email. I'm happy to do it. Some other items that you will need to complete your graduate application are we will need a current government ID. For most of you, that will simply be taking your phone and taking a picture of your driver's license or passport. Just take a picture and upload it to the application. We will also need transcripts from any school where you have received college credit, undergraduate or graduate. You can send those to us either electronically or through the U.S. Postal Service. We prefer electronic transcripts only because they tend not to get lost and we get them more quickly, but some schools only offer a U.S. Postal Service option that is perfectly acceptable as well. We do not require the GRE. So for many people, that is very exciting news. So I'm happy to share that. And some other things that you may need to provide for your graduate application are some written statements and a resume. Just a word about the written statements. They serve two purposes. The content of your answers is very important to our faculty who read the applications. They're very interested in what you have to say in terms of your answers to the questions that they ask you to write about, and then also the quality of your writing. So please take a minute when you're writing those to really proofread, check your grammar, summer. Make sure that you have put together a really well-written sample. Many of our programs have writing as a component to your schoolwork. So they want to know that you can also write as well. So those are a couple things. And if you have questions about the written portion, also reach out, and I'm happy to answer questions about those or hook you up with faculty who can answer your questions. So some deadlines that are important for you to know. We have 3 starts per year. We are currently in our spring semester. Our next term that we are accepting applications for is our summer term. Our deadline for summer is May 1. The following term that we are accepting applications for is our fall term. That application deadline is August 1, and our spring term, the application for that will be opening very shortly. Let me also share with you that just because we have deadlines for each term, we encourage every applicant to get their application in way earlier than the term. We read applications on a rolling basis, and as soon as your application is complete, we can offer you your admissions decision. And we also offer an early enrollment scholarship, which is for the graduate program, it's $500 towards your first semester of tuition. So this is a way that we can make that first semester a little bit more financially feasible and also encourage you to apply a little bit early. So for summer, we're coming upon our early scholarship deadline, which is April 25th. So you will need to apply, be accepted, and register for classes by April 25th. For fall, you will need to apply, be accepted, and register by June 1. And then for spring, that application hasn't opened, but when it does, you will need to apply and register for classes by December 1. So I encourage those of you who are interested in summer or fall to go ahead and complete your application and get it in so that you can take advantage of our early scholarship. So those are sort of the nuts and bolts of the application process. My contact information is on the screen. I highly encourage you to email me rather than call me. I'm sort of always in front of my email, but not always in front of my phone. And at this point, if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. Sorry, I can answer that question. There was a question about how long does it take after you have submitted your application. If we have anything, I mean, everything, if we have all of your transcripts, your written portion, if you've paid your enrollment deposit, if it's a completed application, we try to read that application and get an answer with you in 1 to 2 weeks. Oftentimes it can be even more quickly, but about a 1 to 2 week window is what we strive to keep ourselves to.
I'll just clarify, Sheila, you said you get your enrollment deposit in.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Sorry. Your application fee. Thank you. Thank you. It's that time of day. Right. So get your application fee in. For those of you who are on this call, your application fee should be waived. So that actually should be one step that you don't have to follow up on. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah. In general, I mean, our outlook is we want to get students through the process. We want you to know what your admissions decision is so that we can move on with you and go to the next stage. And like Sheila said, it's faculty who review and make the admissions decisions at the graduate level. And they're really good at staying on top of student applications because they share our sense of urgency. Any other questions that people have? Thanks for joining us, Jennifer. So here we are. You have Sheila's contact information. You'll receive an email tomorrow with a recording of this webinar, and again, contact information for Sheila. We will, let's see, I'm looking at the questions that are coming up. So I think we should have a conversation with you offline, Mark, so we can make sure that you know what specific opportunities there might be in the IT field. Sheila, do you want to respond to the TOEFL question?
Yes, I just saw it. Thank you. Martine, I may also respond to you offline. Generally for students who have gone to international universities, we require not necessarily the TOEFL, but we do require that your transcripts, if they're international university transcripts, that they go through the WES evaluation process. However, if you have gone to like an American school, but it's international, which I feel like, yeah, I see you shaking your head, then we don't necessarily need that. So reach out to me at sgold@tulane.edu and we can keep having this conversation. But depending on what you have to submit, we may or may not, but no for the TOEFL, yes for WES, maybe.
Great. All right, and it looks like we have maybe a last question about the Master of Arts in Teaching and the application and all the information about that program. So it's already an option on the admissions application. Am I right, Sheila? So you can go ahead and apply to the program. Because it just got approved about 2 weeks ago, we're still in the process of setting up the website and all the sort of marketing information that we want to be able to share. But we're very happy to follow up with you directly about the MAT. We're super excited to launch that program. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us again. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we look forward to working with you through the application process. Have a great day. Thank you.